Hi, I'm Kelly.
And hi, I'm Geoff.
And this is Blueprints for Belonging, where we're exploring how to build conscious connection in a disconnected world.
Because belonging doesn't happen by accident, it happens by design. Hey, Kelly.
Hey, Geoff. Here's another one. Woohoo!
Yep. We are now completely in season 2.
I know, and exciting.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm just so excited about this podcast in general.
Me too, because I think we need to share this information. Otherwise, it just gets buried under a rock.
Right. Mm-hmm. It still might be buried under a rock right now because our listenership isn't huge,
right.
but
it's all right. All right.
We're getting there.
Well, today our purpose for our listeners is to recognize our everyday thinking habits that we have and kind of shift those into what we kind of call power with and power, but there's power over and power under. But we're working on power with strategies.
Right, converting these things that we do into power with strategies instead of power over or power under. Right.
So we've been focusing this season on cognitive distortions, and that's kind of where we're not really aware of where they've come from. They just kind of get patterned over periods of time, and we just start to use them. And the 3 that we're going to work with on this episode is mind reading. Mm-hmm. You can read my mind, Geoff?
Oh, I've tried. It's very hard.
Another one is emotional reasoning. That's when I think I'm angry, so you must have made me angry.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right.
And then the last one is labeling, and I think that's the one that I really want to focus on. That's where we kind of use that labeling as a way of supporting ourselves about kind of like what's going on. It sounds something like this: oh, he's a narcissist. And when we use that then, or he's a jerk or whatever. So when we use those types of labels with other people, then we have a way to kind of come back to it and justify our reasoning for not connecting.
Right. So, labels make life easier.
Right.
Not actually true, though.
Right. So anyway,
cool.
Where do you want to start? How do you want to?
Well, we'll start with mind reading.
Okay. Well, why do these distortions matter? Any other things about why they matter? Why we're picking them?
Well, it's important. So I think they matter because they're automatic. Mm-hmm. And things that are automatic when it comes to speaking or doing things as humans, when they're automatic,
they protect us.
We don't think about it.
Yeah, but they've typically protected us.
At some point or another, yes. But we still do them today because they become rote and we just perform. But where we want people to get to, yeah, I know, I just did it.
You got to share it.
Yeah, okay. I said the word but. Yeah.
We'll have a whole episode on that
one. We are. It might be this one. If I can't keep from saying it, I'm in the middle of trying to recognize how often I do say it. So, yay, doing the work. If we are always on automatic, then we're not really working from an intentional palette.
We're unconscious.
Unconscious, yeah. Automatic equals unconscious.
Right. Our practice that we're wanting to do or move in toward is being aware and being conscious of my directions and my intentions.
Right, which is being aware of the words you use.
Like but.
Yeah, like but. Oh. But.
Because it's a contradictory word.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Yeah. So anyway.
And when interjected into a conversation, it's an erasure of what someone just said.
Right.
Oh, it's awful.
All right. So now we've got a little bit more of here's our invitation that we're asking people to kind of pay attention to. Is that, these ways that kind of show up in our life that are on automatic and we're not aware of them, how often do they disrupt or disengage us from connection with another person or even with ourselves?
Right. Pretty much always.
So mind reading is assuming that we know what other people are thinking or feeling without checking with them.
Right. Why would we ask?
Right. So I already know what you're thinking about me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever had that happen to you?
I think I have. Not in a long time, but
That's not the story you're wanting to share.
that's not a story I'm wanting to share. No.
Well, there's no point in bringing this up.
Right.
That's
Right.
another
Well, but mind reading is in any case, it's knowing what the other person is thinking when you have no clue what they may or may not be thinking. Where this actually enters into reality for me, actually, yes. Okay. So
This is the story.
yeah, I've done this, not somebody else. I never noticed somebody else doing it to me, although I'm sure it happens all the time. I've done this on text. So I'll be texting somebody, and so this is a good friend, and I know them well, and I can hear their voice in my head. That's the worst
That's
part.
how well you know them.
Yeah, that's how well I know them. I can hear their answers, exactly how they're said, in one way or another, of course, and it's however I choose to see it in my own head. And then I will get bent out of shape over how long they're taking to respond to me. And I will create an entire story around it. And I will be so angry that it will come out, usually in a text. And then I just blow up the situation by doing that. It's just a mistake. You can't ever know what is in somebody's head or what's in the back of their train to pertain to the story that we told last season. You never do. So stop acting like you do.
So in some ways we've talked a little bit before about power over and power under and what those sound like. In some ways, this is another power over mind reading somebody else's.
Yeah, absolutely. And it will shift.
And then sometimes
Whoever's doing the mind reading is doing the power over play.
Right. But also even in power under, well, I just assumed you knew.
Right. It's not on me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't ask, but I shouldn't have to.
Right.
Or I didn't tell you because I thought you should know.
You already know. Right.
Right. Yeah. Oh, it's like, but how can I know unless you tell me? How many times have you said that? It's crazy.
Well, I work on not mind reading. I work on knowing that I'm in a space that I might be mind reading, so I ask for clarity. So I'm not really sure that I'm making sure that I'm getting the right answer. I'm just wanting some clarity is usually how I say it or talk about it. I want to make sure that I know exactly what we're doing or how we're going to do it, or give me a time frame, or what were you speaking about when you said ABC and I didn't know what ABC was, but you thought that I might know.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Seeking clarity.
Seeking clarity, right.
With curiosity.
Oh. I think of curiosity as a little cat. Like, I want to see what you're doing. What are you doing? Yeah. All right. So anyway.
Not like a dog, which is like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
The cat's just in there paying attention to everything.
Right.
So our second distortion is emotional reasoning. And that still has those feelings of power under and power over as well with them. And power under kind of comes up.
Feelings rule the self and silent strategy. A silent agency. Yeah. Well, like you're feeling sorry for yourself?
Are you mind reading? Sorry, a little joke. I'm being a little jokey. It's all right. It just fit, okay?
I'm not trying to, but if I'm right, I'm right, you know.
So in some ways, if you feel it, it must be true. So if I'm feeling angry or mad or exhausted or disrespected, it must mean that you disrespected me.
Right. Yeah. Oh. Yes. This is another little story. There's a story for this one too. This one I may have said before in last season, and if you remember it, I'm sorry, but it pertains to this too. So I worked at the city, and the director was a man with a giant chip on his shoulder. And he walked in early one morning, so it's not quite time to be there, I don't think. It's like 6:30 or something in the morning, which is stupid early. And he walks past this woman who has got her head down. She's doing her morning ritual. She's getting her stuff ready, whatever. And he says hi to her, and she does not respond. Well, to her defense, she did not hear him. She wasn't thinking about it. She hadn't even had her coffee yet, whatever. And he went to the assistant director, told him about it, how she disrespected him, and the assistant director, then went to the woman and said, "You should apologize to the director because you disrespected him this morning." And she left. Basically, she wasn't with the city for maybe a month longer. Good for her.
So that in some ways, that's a power over.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. That was power over. She was power under.
She was power under.
Yeah. Yeah. And in an environment like that, power over and power under is the only way things work.
Okay, so the other person also had a power under obligation.
Oh, yeah, the assistant director also had because
he was power under. Right.
Yeah, he is always under the director.
Right.
Yep.
So power over doesn't have to be loud or blaming. I mean, sometimes it can just be calm.
It can be a subtle imposition.
Right. Right. And so can our power under. Sometimes it's not as loud either, but we have to kind of notice when we're in that power under.
Right.
So, yes. Okay.
I know. I see it.
Okay. I'm grateful that you're getting to see it, because part of this is our growth that we're all doing, and being able to see that. That's wonderful without shaming yourself or blaming yourself, and to be able to share it on a podcast. Oh my gosh, how cool is that?
Right, that is very cool, actually.
I think so.
Yeah.
So, some ways that when we get kind of stuck in those things, that our relationship costs us. So, in some ways, for your example, the person that left, that company, or the city, lost a possible employee that was... They had to find a new employee to retrain. Right.
I mean, it behooves yourself to be nice to people.
Well, there's being nice, and there's being kind.
Oh, right.
Okay, we're all trained to be nice. Right?
Right.
Okay.
Well, we're all trained. Well, no.
So being nice.
Some of us are trained to be nice.
So some of us are trained to be nice. So being nice, I was sharing earlier with Geoff about what this is. So being nice would be like if Geoff had something on his lip, some food on his lip, and I wouldn't say anything being nice, because I don't want to embarrass him, especially if we were at a public party or anything. But being kind is, I'm going to go up and tell Geoff, "Hey, Geoff, you've got some food on your lip. I'm just letting you know."
Right, so I don't walk around all night with it on my lip at the party looking like the fool that I am, you know. Yeah.
So being kind, even in this place of, when we get in the space of emotional reasoning, when we're recognizing that what we might be doing, we're recognizing that when we get some overwhelmness about, whatever we're feeling, and whether we're sad or angry or frustrated, or like for, what you were sharing about the woman that left. is to just kind of take that moment to pause
Mm-hmm.
and to recognize what feels safe, what feels unsafe. Is there anything I can do about it right at this moment? And so it sounds like she might have done that and said, I'm not going to be safe at this place, and that's why she might have left.
Right.
Just more than likely, right.
Yeah. No, she felt very awkward.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that would drive anybody to look for another job.
Mm-hmm. So honoring feelings without letting them run the
courtroom.
run the courtroom, right?
Right. Well, feelings can knock on the door.
Mm-hmm.
They knock on the door all day,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't run the house.
Mm-hmm. They're like the turn signal on our car.
Right.
They're pointing either left or right. And if y'all are familiar, listeners, with the NVC model of OFNR, or observation, feelings, needs, and request, our feelings are pointing to needs that are either being met or unmet.
Mm-hmm.
So the person that was being felt disrespected, he had a need for respect and being honored, and maybe just acknowledgement that he said hello, good morning to you, right?
Right.
And then the other person, the power under assistant, he also had some needs that were either being met or not being met. He needed to show and share that he had his boss's back to follow up with what he had made that task. But how do I do it in a respectful way to this other person? He didn't get clarity with the person that was the woman that was not didn't hear anything.
That was not responsive.
Not responsive,
to the boss.
right?
Yeah.
So clarity would have been helpful for him, but he didn't have that awareness or that skill. So
no. So he wasn't searching for clarity.
no.
He was searching to tell her what she had done wrong.
Right. So we want to be able to kind of reframe how we, and if these kind of things are coming up, we kind of reframe them, and how do we recognize the skill or the tool we might be using. Like if I'm going to go hang up a painting, I'm not going to use a pan. I'm going to use a hammer, right?
Right.
Okay. So it has to be the appropriate tool. But sometimes if I only have a pan to hang something up with, then I might have to use it. Not that that's the right or wrong. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about how do we use these tools with awareness? How do we use these tools to connect with... this is our whole podcast is about belonging. How do we use our tools to help each other connect with each other? Because if not, then I'm going to just leave. I don't want to stay with you. I don't want to be around you.
Right.
There's a lot of, we were going to talk a little bit about what we call family divorce.
Oh, right.
We haven't talked about that, or haven't talked about it, but where we just say that I'm done with you. We talked about it in the other episode a little bit.
In the first episode, we kind of touched on the concept, but yeah.
We didn't really go into it. But in some ways, that's kind of some of the things that start to happen. Because I don't want to deal with it, so I'm just done with you.
Right, right. I don't have a brother. I don't.
Right.
I don't. My sister's dead to me. You know, it's just so childish, really.
Yeah. Okay, that goes into our next one.
Oh, yeah. That's a label.
It's a label. Right.
Oh, see, we still do them.
Right. So sometimes we just, and it's great that we have awareness, because that's really what our practice is about kind of being aware of how we've come to this point, all of the social conditioning that we've had that taught us how to belong with each other. I mean, in some ways, that's what religions did. Or, they were teaching each other how to belong with each other. And now we have social media, and now here's social media, and we don't really want to be around a lot of these people anymore, because we see and hear and do some things that we don't really want to be around that much anymore.
Yep.
But belonging still matters.
Oh, well, yeah.
Well, why?
Well, because we aren't designed to do this alone. We're not designed to live alone. We are inextricably connected to each other and to animals and to plants on this planet. It doesn't make sense for us to act in a way that makes us separate from each other. It just doesn't. And when you look at smaller communities through time, they work pretty well together, right? Because they understand their strengths and weaknesses. They work together. They collaborate. Things work in an environment like that. Where they don't work is where everybody is separate and at odds with each other and living in their own bubble. And then when you do interact with others, you throw labels at them or you try to read their minds because you grow out of practice with it, really. And being out of practice with communicating with people.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to share something from my perspective. So I'm a drug counselor. And when I first started working with my clients, I started to notice that a lot of them did not have communication skills that drew them toward connection.
Right, they were only pushing people away.
Pushing people away. Well, it's a really good, safe way to be.
Well, right, 'cause you don't
I don't have to deal with anybody.
They won't hurt me if they're not around.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, so feelings sometimes, we think if I'm feeling something that must be true. It's not necessarily that it's a true statement. It's a pause moment to go check it out for clarity. Okay? So if I'm feeling ashamed, I must have done something wrong. Maybe, but it also could be something else that might have been going on.
It could be social conditioning that's playing on top of something that I did, and that's why I'm feeling shame.
Yeah. Or if I'm scared, maybe I shouldn't go. Oh my gosh.
Right. You're worried about something happening.
Right.
I have a bad feeling.
Right. So anyway, so just kind of paying attention to these ways that we might do this emotional reasoning with ourselves. So the next one is what,
Dun,
Geoff?
dun, dun.
Your favorite.
Labeling.
Your favorite.
Yep. I've used quite a few labels already today in my conversation with Kelly before we actually record.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, those narcissists. And, for all intents and purposes, she's a narcissist, Oh, they were toxic for me. That's why I don't hang out with them anymore. What?
I think there's a lot more labeling going on because that's how we get some relief from it.
Relief from what?
So if I'm
from labeling?
No, relief from somebody that might be narcissistic.
Oh, right.
Right.
Yeah, putting them in their box.
Well, if it makes us feel better about it, then I don't have to deal with it anymore.
Right.
So how do you deal with a narcissist? We're just using this as an example.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I mean, I know how I deal with narcissists in my life.
You've had a lot of good training.
I've had a lot of training.
Okay.
I wouldn't call it good. That's a value judgment that I think is misplaced.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had a lot of training, but I still don't really know how best to deal with my mother. And that's my very first narcissist. I mean,
Lover.
Right? That's so hard to do.
So we might have another one on narcissistic behavior that we might want to help people with if they have a show about how do you deal with personalities that are difficult.
Are difficult. Yeah, right. Yeah. I think that's definitely worth like a nice long episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm not even sure how best to do it. So I can learn something too.
Well,
yay.
So we're bringing up labeling, and it just happened to focus on narcissistic traits or toxic people.
Right. So we're going to have an episode on butt and on narcissists. Okay. Get ready.
Okay. So anyway, so our focus here is about kind of understanding people are being human. And labeling is one of those ways of for safety. I want to. When we were a little kid,
it's a safety strategy,
right? As a little kid, we grew up labeling things. What's this? That's a bottle. What's this? It's a microphone. What's this? That's a computer. We grew up with giving things labels. And that's not a right or a wrong or a good or a bad. It's just how we were encultured in our relationships and our families and in the world. I mean, we had to understand what these things are. Mm-hmm. And yay, now that we understand what things are, how do we, I use my microphone only when I'm here with Geoff, and I don't use it any other way of communicating with anybody else. Right? So there's a point of where you're using your tools that you have that are appropriate, or that these labels that we've used that are appropriate. They're some ways they're there to give you an understanding. It's not that you can't say they're a narcissist or that's a narcissistic behavior. It's just that's allowing you to recognize how to connect with them. Not that they're right, wrong, good, or bad. It's about still connecting with them.
No, it's just different.
So then you stay in a place of connection with them. Tell me about your day. What did you do today? Because really, that's really about them. They want people to really pay attention to them. That's one of their ways of trying to get connection. Because they might not have ever grown up with it. And so to have that empathy with them and that kindness with them takes practice. So, other things about labeling. What are some other things about labeling? What do you notice about other things that we do with labeling?
Well, it compresses a whole human being into a single conclusion. I mean, it's pretty final, in my own head. And it makes categorization easy. So you can put people into categories, put them in their boxes, and nice and neat and tidy. But that's not how the real world works. And that's not how...
What? You don't think we diagnose? I mean, we do diagnosing all the time.
Right, I know. And I might deem somebody a narcissist, and guess what? I'm not going to be friends with them.
Right.
Because I don't want to deal with that.
So then we use that power under... I use this power under strategy. I'm going to avoid them. So belonging is not using that strategy either. Belonging is, how do I connect with somebody who's using these types of strategies to get connection? Because that's really what it's about.
Yeah, it's a power with operative. Yeah, exactly.
So in some ways, when I shift my thinking there, I start to grow more toward connecting with other people, but I also grow more toward connecting with myself.
Tell me more about that.
So most often, we're not really connected with ourselves. We're not really aware of all of the strategies that we've learned how to connect with other people. And so some of them, they're on automatic. We're not even aware that we do them. And I would say a lot of that comes from narcissistic behaviors use that kind of a strategy. I'm not even aware that I'm using them.
Right. Well, a thing about narcissistic behaviors, we all exhibit them as children. That is the drive of children. Me. And it's okay as a kid because you're a kid. But then when you grow up, whether you change your mode of operation or you continue using the same strategies, that is what is often defined as an adult narcissist. One that keeps with the same old strategies and they're...
So they haven't grown through their possibilities. They haven't worked on their own growth skills either.
Right.
Because those reliably work for them. So how do you stay kind to somebody who's dealing with their own narcissism?
Well, you don't try to fix them. You listen. You be with them. Give them space to be themselves, to say what they need to say. And protect yourself.
Wonderful things that you've learned. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
You would never have gotten it any other way.
Right.
So now that we have these three distortions that we were talking about, so the first one was what?
The first distortion, mind reading.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted you to read my mind.
Uh-huh.
The second one was emotional reasoning, and the third one was labeling. So if you want to look up on the internet, look up cognitive distortions, educate yourself a little bit more about them. How are they showing up in your own life?
And there are a lot more than these.
Oh gosh, there's so many more. These are just 3 that we're talking about in this episode. But we're going to do 3 the next episode and the next one after that one.
And the next one after that.
Right.
And that's when we're going to probably put a cork in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
We haven't enough of those cognitive
Then we'll have our
distortions.
butt episode, maybe. Because cognitive distortions are worth hearing about.
Right.
Because
And that's why we're bringing
these things are
them
going to
to
click with people. You don't know who, you don't know when, but these things are going to click.
Right. So, again, we want your listener or the listeners to be aware of power over, power under strategies that we might have been using. And in some ways, these cognitive distortions, in some ways, are a power over strategy that we might be using. And in some ways, they're a power under strategy. So just kind of being aware of how I might have used these strategies to try to get a need of belonging met.
Mm-hmm. Well, or to get
Getting
some
mattered,
need
right?
met.
To mattered, right?
You know, it's
Right.
like, what is your motivation? And that's where journaling can help. Introspective thinking, you know, because this is not easy. This sort of work is not easy at all. Undoing however many years of conditioning is hard work. And, you know, we're here for you for it. Let's all do this work together.
And this goes back to, this is all our big growth. We're building our awareness. That's why you're listening to this podcast. You're investigating meaning. So you're going to go check out what these 3 words we...
And then we generate choice.
Yay! I can choose to listen to them or not.
Right?
Yeah.
Because that is always part of the
Choice,
choices you
yep.
can make.
Well, listen, I just want to leave our listeners with this too. You know, if you noticed any of those distortions, whether this episode or the prior episode, if you can notice any of them that you might fall into under stress or default to under stress, kind of pay attention to those moments. And do you tend to use power over or power under when using those strategies, those
Right.
distortions? And what's a power with sentence that I can use to practice this week? What would be one for you, a power with sentence?
I will inquire after enough time has elapsed to hopefully get the clarity that I'm after regarding someone in particular. Yeah, you know, I mean, yeah. Because how I approach it matters. Absolutely.
Well, taking this time this week to do this reflective time and listening to our podcast, we just want to say thank you for doing so. And if you can, share it with somebody else. Pass it along to somebody else. If you want to, you can send us a note if you think you have something you want to share about it.
Right.
We'll be
I would
happy
love to get those.
We'd love to get those. So,
yeah. Leave a comment.
Right. So our belonging doesn't require perfect thinking. We're not asking you have to think perfect or anything like that.
Right. Well, belonging doesn't come from being right, does it?
No. And power with, power over, power under, there's still just strategies trying to get our needs met. So.
Right. Well, and to be perfectly honest, most people probably never really thought about that.
I know. Isn't it wonderful that we bring this attention to them?
Yeah.
Right.
And because once you hear it, you're like, oh, right. Is that power over, power under, or power with? Most things you'll encounter these days are power over or under. Unless you're fortunate enough to know people who like to work in a power with sort of MO. Yeah.
So our last line.
Yeah, belonging doesn't come from being right.
It comes from staying present long enough to find out what's real. Woohoo!
That's right.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Blueprints for Belonging. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow. Leave a 5-star rating for us and share it with a friend.
You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you like to listen. Your support helps us keep building conscious connection in this disconnected world.